Hi Lucy, I've read your interview with interest. I've watched you being interviewed with interest. What comes across loud and clear is that you have no remorse for what you wrote. You still feel that it was a justifiable thing to write that post and put it online. But also what comes across is that you're not very bright and you are now being manipulated by the Wootons, by Alison Pearson, by the right-wing media, who are desperate to use you as their poster girl whilst calling you Starmer's poster girl. TikTok wouldn't allow me to show your original post because it's so vile. Hopefully, this version of it written in the Telegraph will be allowed to stay on the video. I was really interested in your interviews, how you don't really address the fact that you'd written loads of racist posts before this one. And I think actually what your interviews show, and one of my followers has sort of got me thinking about this a little bit today on here as well, is that it's not just the Overton window has moved so far to the right. Actually, humanity has lost more and more of its empathy. And I think for a lot of people, probably like you, Lucy, and probably the other follower today, you don't actually realise how vile you've become. Because you keep reading that everybody feels the same way as you, so it somehow makes you feel justified to write something so inhumane. It's a Prime Minister's job to keep a country safe. I mean, God knows that's all you right-wingers are talking about. And yet, when they crack down on civil disobedience, somehow it's their fault that you wrote the post that got you imprisoned. It's much easier, isn't it, to think of yourself as a political prisoner than to actually look in the mirror and deal with how hateful some of your thoughts are. You talk about Starmer forgetting that he's a human rights lawyer. You said he should look again at what human rights really are. You say that with no irony at all. Your description of yourself as ordinary belies the fact that it's ordinary people that get radicalised online and become racist. You claim it's because you lost a child, so you felt the loss of those 3 children even more. Yet you're also on record in the court papers, Lucy, as having told a friend that you were going to play the mental health card. I would argue that every single parent in the country, and indeed non-parents as well, had a visceral reaction to hearing about that tragedy. But it's one thing to have a visceral reaction. It's something else to want to burn down a hotel and kill people who had nothing to do with that tragedy. Be far better if you hadn't gone to prison and you were educated out of your bigotry. But the greatest irony of all, I think, was when you spoke about this is a freedom of speech issue. Because it seems to me, Lucy, the only free speech that you want to protect is your own. I actually think you make quite a strong case for why prison was never going to be the answer for you, because you've learnt nothing, and you're now going to be exploited and manipulated by the right-wing media, who will give you a really good payday, but at the end of the day, your heart is going to be as black as the day that you wrote this, as you were.